What's up, everybody? We're here for Vintage today. This is the first of several Vintage videos that are going to drop this week. This is part of GenCon Online's Vintage and Legacy series. So the way this works is that today is Thursday. On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there are Vintage and Legacy 4-round events. If you go 3-1 or better in those events, you get to play in the format championship on Sunday. So it's Thursday. This is the first Vintage preliminary, and I am playing just the classic, no surprises here. Y'all know me, still the same OG. Just Paradoxical outcome. So if you're brand new to Vintage and you don't know how this deck works, Paradoxical outcome is a 4-mana instant. Return any number of non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands. Draw a card for each card returned to your hand this way. That goes really well with these zero-cost artifact mana cards, or cards that tap for more mana than they make, Soul Ring, etc. So the dream is like you just play out 3 or 4 Moxes, you pick up those cards, you draw 4. The spell was quote-unquote free because you just replay your zero-cost acceleration, and you have all the same resources in play, and you're up 4 cards in your hand. So ideally, you would play it for like 3 or 4. Among those cards, you draw 1 or 2 more artifacts, then you play the next one for 6, then you play the next one for 9, and then you just kill your opponent with either Monastery Mentor and Time Walk, or Bolas's Citadel, Time Walk is integral in all of these plans. So Citadel, you can deal 20 to your opponent by sacking monks, or you can just attack them for 1,000,000. Time Walk is the key to that. If you lose your Time Walk early, you have Yawgmoth's Will to try again later. So that's the win condition. There's no Tendrils of Agony. There's no Storm spell to get them. You just have to attack. The techier slots in this particular build, for those more familiar with Paradoxical outcome builds, this is based extremely heavily on Bryant Cook's recent list that he's been playing. He won several Vintage challenges. I think he won 2 in a row, and then has a bunch of other top 8s scattered about over the last couple months. And I like that he's got the main deck Pyroblast. He's got Lavinia, which is a really potent weapon against the whole format. It breaks the mirror. If you get it down early, it shuts down Dredge. If you get it down early, it shuts down Shops. Basically, everyone's trying to cheat on mana in this format, and Lavinia doesn't allow for that. So I like main deck Lavinias. And Teferi is the big one. Teferi is in the slot that would normally be something like Repeal. Repeal is a pretty standard, just generic answer to anything that cantrips, and so is Teferi. Teferi costs more mana than Repeal for the average permanent in Legacy or in Vintage, and it's not an instant. But once it's in play, you get to do whatever you want. A lot of decks, they'll try to turtle up behind a wall of Pyroblasts and Flusterstorms and just make it so you can never combo. And the decks that are trying to do that are generally better at winning counter wars than your deck is. Like, we have Pyroblast, we have Flusterstorm, we have Force of Will. We have counterspells too, but we also try to have to get a combo off. Opponents with pure control decks just have to survive and have a handful of counterspells at the end of the day, and we actually have to break that somehow. So Teferi is the ultimate just trump card in those situations. You sneak a Teferi and then you can just do whatever you want with impunity after that. And out of the sideboard, Sprite Dragon is the hot tech right now. I have always played some sort of sideboard juke in my Paradoxical outcome list, because decks are so good at shutting down Paradoxical outcome after sideboards. Even the decks without counterspells, they'll have like Null Rods or Sphere of Resistance or Thorn of Amethyst, and all of those can be super brutal on beating up Paradoxical outcome. So having something like Sprite Dragon, where it ignores a lot of that stuff and just presents damage quickly, and it gets fed by the same sort of plan that Paradoxical outcome does, where Sprite Dragon, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets bigger, and we have all these non-creature spells that we want in our deck anyway because of Paradoxical outcome. So I love Sprite Dragon. I've played Mana Gorger Hydra in this spot before. Blightsteel Colossus is also here. That's a common sideboard juke. So we're going to be messing around with those. Post board, make our opponent wonder what we're up to. And I love the inclusion of 2 lightning bolts because the bug deck in this format, Joe Brennan won Vintage Champs last year with Sultai colors, and that deck is full of Leovold and Collector Oof and Narset and things that are really hard to beat but die to lightning bolt. So I'm into that. Bold thing that this sideboard does, this is what Bryant's sideboard looks like from the deck he copied, and he has decided to ignore the graveyard. In Vintage, you'll usually see between like 4 and 8 sideboard cards for Dredge, because that deck is just so hard to beat if you don't dedicate space to it. And there's just none of this. And I didn't make any changes to that for a couple of reasons. One of them is that this is a 4-round event, and I just need to go 3-1. So I can afford to take a loss, and it's not a big deal. Compare that to like Vintage Champs, where if you lose twice over 9 rounds, you're out of the tournament. So it just like throwing away a matchup is less tenable of a position in a tournament like that. But here, you just need to win 3 out of 4, and if you play against Dredge, they might get you because we have basically no reaction to it. However, we're not just dead to Dredge if we have nothing the way that a Xerox deck or a more classic control deck would be, because we can just kill Dredge. So we still have this busted combo. Paradoxical outcome, Dredge plays counter magic. They have Force of Wills, Force of Negations, Force of Vigors, but Teferi does a good job of just making sure they can't mess with you on your turn. So we're gonna have to come out fast and get a little lucky, but we do have a real plan against Dredge, which is make them dead without a dedicated sideboard slots. The sideboard slots are pointed pretty firmly at shops and Xerox, the control decks. So almost straight down. Alright, so these are for shops, these are for Xerox, and that's the sideboard plan. We've ignored everything else. We think we can just power through it. And I mostly agree with that. We'll see how it pans out. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get into some matches. Alright, here we are for round 1. We're playing against none other than Ryan Glacken, who is one of the all-time great Vintage players. He's Philly-based. And he likes Bazaar Baghdad a lot, which is kind of dangerous because our hand is great against any deck that isn't dredging us, but I mean, it's still pretty great. We have turn 1 Mentor with Force backup, and we get a trigger out of it because of Sensei Stop. And if all of this just resolves, then we're going to be holding Force after that. There we go. Alright, so colors of mana. Black is probably the most important one because of the tutors. And all the lands are blue, but the tutors are black. So I'll just start there. This might get Mind Break trapped if he has it. Like this was spell number 3 for the turn, and if he's on misstep. Alright, that's even worse. Alright. I'm not going to fight over that with Force. And having the misstep means that he could be doing anything over there. Like that does not mean that he's a blue deck. Dredge does play that card. That does slow us down a lot, though. Having top in play is just a constant stream of monks, because there's the Bazaar. So with Sensei's Top, there's a trick you can do where you can end step, just draw a card, and then you draw the top for turn, so that's guaranteed a 1 mana way to trigger Mentor every turn. Okay, so he is the Vengevine deck. It's not Dredge. I'm not sure which one is scarier, honestly. So he's probably going to play Hollow One, which triggers Vengevine here. Unless he wants the Therapy first. I guess that would be the one sequencing consideration. So I'm going to Force of Will Hollow One. This gets us another Mentor trigger. It keeps 4 power out of play. The Vengevine's coming in no matter what we do. This also blanks Cabal Therapy. Like if he does want to flash it back, it's just going to cost him a Root Walla for basically no reason. And I can double block Vengevine with my monks. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it's a thing I can do. If I had any spell in my hand, I would pretty easily double block Vengevine. I think I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe not. I think I'm going to give it one turn, because if I draw a spell, and I can just put damage on him over there. Like snowballing monks is a way that I win this game. And this is my one window to do that. If I brick this turn, I can start like jumping to soak up damage. Please cast that Cabal Therapy. Coward. Ancestral Recall. Alright, Narset is not quite what I was looking for. I can attack with Mentor here, because I'm not blocking with that. If he has 2 Spirit Guides, he's got me. Alright. So a Mox off the top is probably the best draw, because that's like a mana source that triggers Mentor. But something to get this Narset into play. If I draw like Mox, trigger Mentor, cast Narset, trigger Mentor, minus, get another Mox, trigger Mentor, that's going to be an assload of damage. That's an interesting attack. I guess he is also pacing out this game. A monk is not worth saving 1 life for me, even if it does kill one of his creatures, but I will save 4 life here. I also suspect that there's just like 0% that he's going to blind name Narset with Cabal Therapy. Yeah, we just need some way to get a couple cards in hand. This Mentor is the best card against this deck. Okay, that was a huge brick, unless he's got Hollow One in hand. Alright, does have it. Please don't have 2. They always have like 3 Hollow Ones in their top 10 cards when you play against these decks. It defies the laws of math. Alright, almost hellbent over there. Oh god, is this a Collector Roof? That's Once Upon a Time. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Let's see, 3 Hollow Ones in the top 14 cards here. What a world. Alright, Hurkyl's Recall is a pretty good card to draw. There is 1 in the main deck. Alright, it's Narset time. Narset is a little bit dangerous because it shows him what I draw. Like if I don't pick a 0-cost card, they can just therapy it away. If you can't hear the the friction in my voice, I keep calling him because I know who he is and I know he's the guy. But my reflex to say they is just enormous. Alright, so here's Tinker. Alright, I guess that's fine. So I am struggling with calling him even though I know who he is. Alright, so Tinker, I don't have anything to tinker away anyway, so if he does want to therapy this Tinker, I mean, he probably should. Like, if I just draw a Mox, he's probably dead to this Tinker, and he knows it. Unfortunately, this root wall is still around, so he gets to keep a decent creature. Let's see if he respects Narset at all, or if he just attacks my face. Alright, face is the place. Alright, those are my blocks. Grows the root wall. Probably strips the Tinker post-combat, though Bolas' Citadel isn't even that scary at 5 life. Wow, no respect at all. Let's find a Mox. That'll do. Unless his hand is like Mindbreak Trap. I don't know if I like ignoring Narset. Like, he doesn't have 2 cards, it can't be Force of Vigor. Alright, Citadel, and we still have our land drop. I am at 5 life though, which is kind of shitty. 3 life, oh no. Yeah, alright, so the life total pressure did end up mattering a lot, because I just die if I cast this thing. So I guess I have to just block all of his cards, lose all my cards, and hope to just go off from 0 next turn. That was pretty unlucky. Just like, even like one more Mox lets us continue, just chump everything and still have Mentor next turn. So here's rewarded for his loose play there. Either that or it wasn't loose and it was brilliant, and he just had a fade and he did. It's hard to be sure. I can't even cast this Teferi, I don't have white mana. Yep, at 3, can't leave Mentor home. Alright, so we gotta string some miracles together. Alright, so bottom both of these. Now I'm at 1. Great. I don't believe I can win, so I'm just not even going to show him that I played Teferi. Alright, that one was frustrating. It was really close. So, Hurkyl's Recall, pretty good. Lightning Bolt, good. And he's going to have some creatures, hate cards. And Hurkyl's Recall can clear out like Null Rod or anything, plus it takes a ton of pressure off of Hollow Ones. So, Pyroblast does not play here. And I'm probably... I could cut Misstep or Gitaxian Probe. Probe, I don't really care what's in his hand, but Misstep... Or maybe it's just Flusterstorm. Though any interaction he has is going to be a pitch spell based, so Flusterstorm is basically a hard counter. So I think Misstep can go. And I gotta cut one more. I think this is a Blightsteel matchup also. Like an early Tinker just for Blightsteel should get the job done. So I think the last card to cut is just Probe. Three also might be a lot of Hercules Recall. There's one in the main, and I might not need all three. So I could get my Probe back. Oh wait, no. That was 3 for 3. Okay. Yeah, 2 Lightning Bolts and a Hercules Recall was the board. Oh, and Blightsteel Colossus. So oh, mental misstep, right. Alright. I lost track of my board map for a second there. But yeah, I think on the play I like Colossus. I don't think I like it on the draw as much. Maybe I don't like it at all. They put a lot of power on and toughness on the board. Though it does just block really well too. I don't think I like that. I'm off it. Gitaxian Probe back in. Alright, this hand is very powerful. So I have to sequence this in a way that I don't get blown out by Force of Vigor. Which I think that means I have to cast the Opal last. Alright, so land. Lotus. Yeah, this is kind of a beating. I don't think I can... Unless the Opal sticks, I can't also Demonic Tutor this turn. A misstep would be pretty rough here too. Okay, the Opal stuck, so I can float black. And I can get Ancestral Recall, and then I can cast Narset and Ancestral Recall. I think I'm going to lead on Narset. Ancestral Recall is more powerful, and it could draw me into better stuff, but leading on Narset... I'll grab this PO. I think Narset gives them a chance to force the wrong thing, or Mind Break Trap the wrong thing. Okay, so I don't think I need to play this Jet right now. I'll surprise them with it next turn. I don't want to hang 2 good targets into a Force of Vigor, because right now Mox Opal's off anyway, and hitting Soul Ring would suck, but at least I don't lose 2 things. The Force of Vigor is still rough though, because they can respond to my PO by denying me 2 cards. So the Ancestral Recall versus Narset decision is kind of interesting, and I'm pretty sure it's one that a lot of people would have done differently. Like, they would have just Ancestraled first and seen what they could have done with that 3 mana before spending it on Narset. Ooh, awkward. So this is just discard 3, he doesn't get to draw 2. So his hand must be great, or he punted. Like, if he just discards like 3 Vengevines here, I'm fucked. We know about 1 Hollow One. Citrus Supplier once upon a time, Deafening Silence. Okay, so that seems like... Okay, he did have double hollow one to put into play, so defensible line. Alright, let's see if I can just go off. If I can find protection of any kind here, like a Flusterstorm or Force. Alright. We should be able to win pretty easily now. Even if he has a Force or Mindbreak Trap, I still just can protect my spells, and I have double PO with 5 things to pick up. So you'd have to have 2 Mindbreak Traps in hand, which would be a bananas opener, after letting all my spells resolve on turn 1. Alright, now's the fun part, which is where we have to scroll back and forth to figure out what's actually in hand. Fairly confident he just has just nothing at all, based on how this has gone so far. Picked up a top, another PO, more artifact mana. Even if nothing else comes together out of this turn, we can bounce one of these hollow ones with Teferi. There's a sweet trick you can do with Sensei's top that I'm about to show you. Yeah, we have all 4 POs now, so float mana, and then you can tap your top and hold priority, and then bounce the top with Paradoxical Outcome. So Sensei's Divining Top will still try to draw a card when that ability resolves, but the top's not in play to flip onto the top of your deck. So you just get an extra card. So the PO resolves, and then you draw for top. Alright, Vampiric Tutor should be easy game from here. I guess I'll Gitaxian Probe to see if there's anything I need to respect at all, although I'm pretty sure there's just not. Deathrite Gem and Wasteland. That's a negative. Okay. So there's Mentor. Then play this, and then Mentor, and then just spew all this crap out again. If you're playing against Paradoxical Outcome, this is a pretty safe place to concede, just saying. But I'm not upset that I have to play it out. I did choose to register the step. And this goes pretty quick, especially on Magic Online, where it's keeping track of all your stuff for you. Alright, there he goes. He's convinced that his Deathrite Shaman can't beat this many monks. Alright, so that was a nice PO start against the deck without any counter magic. That's why you play a deck like this in Vintage. It's just the dumbest. You get a lot of interesting back and forth games with people with like hate cards and cool counter spells, but sometimes people just play decks with green cards in it and just dunk on them. So I'm thinking that I might want some number of Wear Tear in, because Wear does destroy a hollow one, and Tear can beat a like Late Line of the Void. I don't know why that would be in, like Stony Silence, though we haven't seen white mana yet, though sometimes these decks do play it. I'm not sure what enchantments I need to worry about, but they have shown me a number of powerful artifacts. Like a lot of the time, just killing Hollow One is enough to just buy you so much time. Though, on the draw, I think Lavinia might be kind of bad on the draw. I think their Hollow Ones are already going to be in play. Though Lavinia is like a pseudo Teferi, because it stops every Force effect and Mindbreak Trap. So, Lavinia is kind of an effective defense grid. Maybe Teferi is just too slow, just this 3 mana spell on the draw. when we can do basically the same thing for 2. I don't think I want both of the wear tears in. I could cut the Gataxian probe for a wear tear. Like, that costs life, and I'm not sure if its effect matters much in this matchup. Whatever. I'm gonna submit this version and hope that we have another busted hand. I would not call this hand busted, but I think it's fine. Like, we have 1 point of interaction, we have a turn 1 Sensei's top, like Soul Ring top spin, and then a turn 2 PO for 3. And we can Lightning Bolt if we need to. Yeah, I mean, I've already kept the hand, it's not worth talking about it anymore, but I think this hand is fine, even though it's not busted. This hand is quite susceptible to mental misstep. We're ready for a collector oof. Alright, here comes Hollow One. Let's hope it doesn't bring too many Vengevines with it. The opponent's deck is really cool. Like, this strategy is cool because it spews cards very early to try to get power on the board, and it doesn't have a lot of counterplay after that, but it doesn't really need it. So it's kind of scary. Oh wow, did we just dodge a huge bullet? Or did you slow roll me for the second main? Okay, nice. Yeah, we dodged a huge bullet there. Like, that Vengevine coming into play, just the second Hollow One plus Vengevine just represents so much damage, and I'm glad we don't have to worry about it. Gataxian Probe is also an insane draw, because now we get to know about Misstep if that's coming. Okay, handful of bricks. Oh, Deafening Silence. They showed me Deafening Silence. They discarded one last game. That's an enchantment I need to worry about. So we drew Force of Will, unpunished. So during sideboarding, when I was like, I don't think they have any enchantments I cared about, they actually do. They have a big one. And I knew that they had it too. Alright, so they've shown me Wasteland. So I'm going to lead on Tundra, because going Mountain, or yeah, Volk Bolt next turn is pretty reasonable. Let's spin into another Mox, so we can just go nuts. Alright, Ancestral Recall qualifies as nuts. I'll leave that one on top. So he's going to have to Bazaar to try to find mana to cast these spells in his hand. And if that works, we have Bolt for the oof. If it doesn't work, then we're just going to go nuts. I guess we have Force of Will anyway, so it doesn't. But the Force has to pitch PO, which hurts our plan. So we don't want to Force if we don't have to, but we can if we need to. We know Ancestral's on top, so we have Ancestral and Demonic Tutor on top, so we have a pretty big reload. Alright, he discarded the Deafening Silences. Okay, must have found a mana source, because another Vengevine just hit the bin. So we can go Mox, land, oof, then get back 2 Vengevines. Or, okay. Hollow One also does it. I hope that means he didn't find a mana source. I'd also be a huge fan of him casting Hogak here instead of attacking for 8. Just thinking about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can attack with 1 creature and still cast Hogak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so that's the math he's doing. Alright, he's made his choice. He's going to cast Hogak this turn. Alright, so that's 4, 8, 9, 17. Okay, yeah, so we have to win this turn. There's Hogak. Okay, so now we can Ancestral Recall. We know the top card is Demonic Tutor, but what does that actually do? 4, 8, 12, 16, 17. Yeah, alright, so the question is, do I fetch before I Ancestral or not? So I know the next card down is Polluted Delta, and then there's one unknown. So Ancestral, we paid this to cast Ancestral, and then land drop, PO can draw 3 more. None of these are Moxen. All our lands are used up. So if I Ancestral first, and then I can use land Soul Ring to Demonic Tutor with 1 floating. What does that do? Like, I can get Lotus, which does very little in this spot. So if I get Lotus with 1 floating, I can still draw the same 2 cards off PO as if I didn't do that first. 8, 12. So, okay, Hurkyl's Recall's in the deck. So if I Ancestral myself, get Demonic Tutor, I don't have black and red to Ancestral these Hollow Ones and Bolt Vengevine. So that's no good. I think I just might need to shuffle, like fetch with this land, and then Ancestral, and hope for some Moxen. But if I miss on a Mox, I lose. But I've already determined that I can't get there with the 2 cards I know are on top, so I think a fresh 3 is a better deal. Alright, we're doing it. I don't think the Lightning Bolt's going to matter, so I'll get the Underground Sea. Alright, just give me 3 Moxes. Let's put this into easy mode. We know 2 of his 3 cards are Mox Emerald and Collector Oof. We just have to hope the last one isn't Mental Misstep. Alright, we found a Mox. That's something. So here's Mox Ruby. We also have a blue card to go with our Force now, which is just phenomenal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can draw 4 cards off of these, but I need to come up with something else along the way. Yeah, and I think this is just the play. Alright, let's hope these 4 cards are good. Need more fast mana. Force of Vigor. Okay, so I'm going to Force of Will, pitching Narset. Alright, so that was his big finish. Let's hope ours is good. Alright, we got a lot of fast mana there. And another Force of Will. So, what does this do? We didn't get double blue, unfortunately, so we can't scroll for anything. Could Brainstorm and Lotus would be great. I think I just have to brainstorm here. The alternative is top and spin it, but then that would see the same 3 cards that brainstorm would. Oh my god. Alright. We're in business. So I don't need this Force of Will, and I've already made a land drop. Okay. There's that. Soul Ring. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can PO again. Play the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Alright. We still haven't won, but this is a very good place to be. The PO. The top trick. Every card matters right now. Alright, what is hiding over here? Alright, Wear Tear, Teferi, Tutor. Alright, so we're going to have to get tricky again. I guess not really. Let's see, how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can Teferi, or I think I'm going to have to Hercules myself to generate mana. I just have to do the math to do it. So I'm going to need black, white, because I'm going to have to Vampiric Tutor. Oh, I can shortcut this. I'm working too hard. Alright, so I have Vampiric Tutor for Paradoxical Outcome. Then I draw a card, Hercules myself. So now PO's in hand again. Alright. Should be able to get it done from here, I hope. Probably should have left that red floating in case I want to bolt some stuff. Alright, this is another 8 cards coming our way. There's Tinker, there's Yogwill. We need Monastery Mentor. But, I mean, we've won this game. We just have to click through it in 7 minutes. Yeah, so, yeah, we have the Time Walk already. Yeah, Yogwill will end this game. I'm going to Time Walk first so I can will it and get multiple extra turns. I guess I could just pass. Like, I have an extra turn already, so I don't have to do it all now, but I can. So I'm just going to will now. Fuck it. Lotus back out here. Gonna Ancestral myself. I guess I can probe first. Alright, he scooped it up. All right. Yeah, he was convinced that we did enough. 6 minutes is plenty of time to click through that. We just needed to find the mentor. That was insane. I'm glad that was on camera. That was a great match. All right, we're here for round 2. I'm on the play against an unknown opponent. I have no idea what this person might be playing. This hand sucks. This hand is similarly not exciting, but it's not nearly as bad. So basically, we have this decision to make of Hercule's Recall. Like, I'm keeping this, but do I bottom the Pyroblast, which is great against any blue deck, or the Hercule's Recall, which is my best card against any prison-style deck? I think in general, I'd rather be strong against blue decks. So I'm just going to hold up Pyroblast and pass, and hope that they're not shops. Like, I just think that holding up Pyroblast is better than casting Ponder right now. Because, like, what are we even looking for? Like, you Ponder into Black Lotus, that doesn't even cast Teferi. Alright, so this might be a bug deck. Tropical Island, not super commonly played in Vintage. So this Pyroblast will probably get a Leovold or something at some point. Oh, yikes. Lion's Eye Diamond. I lied. They're some sort of Storm deck, where I'm also glad that I have Pyroblast in hand. Oh my god. That's a good card. So I'm just going to jam. Like, I could have pondered this turn, tried to, like, hold up Pyroblast to protect Lavinia on a future turn, but if this resolves against a Lion's Eye Diamond deck, we're probably in pretty good shape. Alright, they had to pitch Brain Freeze, so they are a Storm deck of some variety, and they just lost a WinCon. Guess we'll see what happens here. Got the classic, they have mana acceleration and I don't, vintage hand. Mostly just have to hope I'm not dead, because I have no interaction. Alright, they're doing a lot of cantripping. I'm not familiar with this deck. Maybe I'm just not up on the vintage meta, but I don't know what this rug-colored Lion's Eye Diamond Brain Freeze deck is. I'm going to brainstorm here, because this hand needs a lot of help. Like, Ponder changes one thing, Brainstorm changes a lot of things. So, Paradoxical Outcome, we're not even close to doing anything with that. And I'm not sure that Teferi is important in a matchup like this. Like, Teferi's on top if we want him for my turn, but I don't think that I do. I want to get this Narset into play, and that's going to be good no matter what they're doing. And I have 2 points of interaction here. Oh, their Oath. Weird. Okay. I don't have an answer to that. So they have the... Alright, they don't have Orchard. So I don't want Teferi, I've decided. Maybe that was terrible. Maybe I'm a huge idiot. But like, Teferi's good if they trigger the Oath, but if they don't trigger Oath, I don't care about that. So I'm gonna Ponder. I really want to protect this Narset. Like, I want another mana source in play before I try to jam that. So here I can... I'm gonna keep these. So I can force pitching Flusterstorm if I need to, and next turn I can play Narset with Pyroblast or Flusterstorm backup. I could play Narset with Pyroblast and Force of Will backup. And the Narset will let me get rid of that Mox Opal on top of the deck that I don't actually want. The nightmare is they just go like Forbidden Orchard, give you a creature, pass. Teferi would have been pretty good in that spot. But if they come up with an Orchard, it means they top decked it because they didn't do it last turn. So I'm pretty fine shuffling away the Teferi, trying to get this Narset happening. But you gotta play to win, not just not lose. Oh. Underworld Breach is now in play. So they can like preordain or brainstorm again. Or I guess they could LED like a lot. But I guess it depends on how many brain freezes they play, because they already got rid of one. Might have been a huge mistake to let that resolve. We'll find out soon. But I have Flusterstorm that can clear out a brain freeze. This feels like a value breach to me. Yeah, they're just preordaining. This value breach is pretty good, though. It's going to be worth... It's worth... I guess it just replaced itself so far. They bottomed off that preordain. Alright, so they're going for something here. Oh, dig through time. I can just red blast this, and then we're Gucci. Can they cast dig? They have to exile so many cards to do that. So it costs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus escaping. No, they can't cast dig. They can preordain twice here. Alright. I'm going to let them have one of them. Maybe I just let them have both. Alright, they kept a card on top. I don't think I want to fight over any of this. Oh, that's weird they didn't preordain again. Like, what are they protecting in their graveyard? I think they must just be holding up Pyroblast. Which is fine, because I have Flusterstorm for that. Alright, show me something good. Alright. Not great, not terrible. I'll give us some info. Don't show me Forbidden Orchard. Vampiric Tutor. Alright, so they have Vamp Tutor in their hand. I'm gonna have to fight over that, because that can just get the... Oh, they don't have black mana. I don't care about that at all. Alright, so... Vamp Tutor, nothing else. Vamp Tutor they can't cast, most importantly. Mox Emerald is what I want here. We gotta get this PO to work. Here's Emerald. I can PO for 3 here, picking up the Narset and replaying her. Can I replay her 1, 2, 3, 4? No, maybe not. But I think I'm still going to do this. I still have a land drop. I could draw Academy. All right, we're doing something here. Oh, I just missequenced. That I should have played the Opal last. I didn't realize that this Mox was Pearl. I just was playing too quickly. So I've lost a trigger, a Mentor trigger there, but should be able to recoup. And so I'm still leaving up Force and Pyroblast. I don't want either of those. That's a good card. Okay, okay. Now we're vintaging. I have one less monk than I should, but otherwise things are happening. So I could get Sapphire, or I could get Preordain. I guess I know that the one card in their hand they can't cast, so my Force of Will is going to be good. I don't even need to hold up Pyroblast. Yeah, so I'll just keep the velocity going. That's pretty good. Yeah, that Merchant Scroll should win the game easily next turn. Oh shit, I forgot about Oath of Druids. I'm so dumb. I got so excited. Alright, am I dead? I'm a little rusty, I think it's safe to say. Alright, Grizzlebrand is fine because we have Narset in play. That was pretty lucky. I do want that to fairy now, though. Shit. They can cast Vamp Tutor, but they can't draw cards. There's no... Yeah, there's no, like, Ancient Grudge or anything in the graveyard I need to worry about. Now we get to do the math of how hard do we have to smash to get through a Grizzlebrand with Mentor. It can be done. It's just a lot of work. Alright, well, let's get to work then. Do this first, because my PO's... I guess I can't really pick up Narset with PO. Okay, do I care about that? Probably not. I think them having 2 less life is more interesting to me here. I definitely just fucked up about this Oath, though. The only thing I would have done different is leave Teferi on top. Oops. Oh, you get to draw the 1. Okay. That's fair. So they do have 1 new card in hand right now. That is a card they want. Lightning Bolt targeting that. Storm is 2. So I can force pitching Flusterstorm. That gives me a Mentor trigger where I wouldn't get one otherwise. And that costs them 9 life, the tutor plus the draw. So we should be able to make this happen. Alright, Mana Crypt versus Top is kind of interesting. Top is worth more cards, but we are going to be a little mana hungry. I guess we're not even mana hungry because we have this Vault. Yeah, Top's going to represent more plays over the course of the turn. Okay, so I have to get 15 damage over the finish line here. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Really, they're already dead, but I'm totally fine stunting on them a little bit. We could just go to combat right now and they lose. Let's see if they recognize that or if they let me go a little bonkers. I guess I already have Colorless Floating from the Crypt still. Outcome. Alright, so I attack. I want to make Grizzlebrand jump. I'm willing to believe I'm just being stupid here, but like there is a lot of like time value and just hiding information value to not do this. But I'm doing it anyway. I don't know what could go wrong. I don't think anything can. I'm just being an overabundance of caution here. Make sure that they're very, very, very dead. Alright, once all my monks are 8/8s, I'm going in. 7 7s, 8/8s. Alright, now you're dead. You were already dead, but now you're very dead. Alright, blammo. So we're playing against Oath. Oath's big weakness as a deck is to combo decks. Like, Oath is pretty good at beating creature decks. Obviously, it's really good against shops, but getting just dunked on by enemy combo is a reason not to play Oath. Alright, so they showed me Underworld Breach and Oath of Druids, both of which are dodge Pyroblast pretty well. I might just want to get off Lavinia. As strong as she is, it's really embarrassing if they just cast Oath after I do that. Like, Teferi is just a better Lavinia in this matchup in a variety of ways. I don't want to pivot into Sprite Dragon because, again, they are creatures. So I think just Flusterstorm is the play. I don't think I want Blightsteel. I mean, that is a way to just cheese through their early... Like, if you get through their early defenses, Blightsteel can just make them dead. But I think I kind of want to manipulate this game a little more, do a little more controlling play, and just try to get my combo off. I'll try not to cast any creatures into Lotus this time. Oh, wish I had Blightsteel Colossus. I'm keeping this hand. This is a... I don't have protection, but it is a turn 1 Blightsteel Bolas's Citadel, and I can probe to make sure the coast is clear. And if the coast isn't clear, I'll just cast top or something. Take my time. They're on a multi 4, that sucks for them. Let's hope that their 4 isn't just like Mox, Orchard, Oath, Mindbreak Trap. I don't think I can beat that. Also, if our draw step or this Gataxian Probe draw the Bolas's Citadel, that sucks. But we even have Brainstorm to put it back, so none of this is like game-ending. Wow. Academy's a good card. Show me your moves. Oath, Force, Time Walk. Okay, so... none of that is very exciting. If top finds Force of Will, I can just go nuts. Oh, I found Teferi, that's even better. Alright, so can I do both of the things I want to do? No, because I don't have white mana. Alright, so I'm going to leave PO on top. I'm not going to play the Tinker. Yeah, so I can PO and also Tinker next turn. Like, I could have Tinkered now to just put them on nothing. Oh god, please don't have Ancestral Recall. Preordained's fine, Ancestral's not. just double check. Is there a version of this where I want to cast Teferi first? So Teferi would force some action. I do have the white mana from Lotus, but I can PO. No, alright. Won the flip. Easy game. Alright, so we know about force. Alright, I'll make them force me here and hope that the card they drew was not Pyroblast. Though I think they'll lead on Pyroblast if they have it. Because the cost of Force of Will, they lose their Time Walk too. Alright, so now I draw Teferi. I should have floated there. Alright, so blue, blue, blue. White, white, white. So here's Teferi. Alright, they did have the Pyroblast. Let's hope we don't get stuck. Though, their hand is pretty bad. Alright, we're stuck already. That's okay. They have Oath of Druids and nothing else. Just don't draw, like, destroy target artifact for 1 red, and we'll be okay. I didn't consider the, oh, that's pretty good. I didn't consider the top when I went for the PO. I should have just left the top untapped, because then I get Tinker with top in play and I can shred through my deck. So that was just a pretty big punt. Alright, there's Will. Get all this stuff back. There's PO and Probe in the graveyard. Might be a mistake to spend 2 life. Like, their hand... Oh, alright. I'm glad I know about that, though. Jeez. Alright. Alright. At least we'll demand that. Alright, so... Teferi's gone, and now we can just PO with impunity. I don't want to cast the PO off the top of my deck, because I can just cast it from my hand once I draw it, and 4 life is a lot to ask when we're trying to get through the whole deck, and our life total is a resource. Alright, we found a blue Mox. Now we're just doing it. Just clickety clickety. There's Time Walk. I'll get that out of the way. Detutor for Mentor, and now we win. We have Time Walk plus Mentor. So I want to get Mentor into play with as few spells as possible. I guess the Opal is the cleanest path to that. And they are dead. I already have the Time Walk turn in the bank. Yeah, I mean, they mulled to 4, but we also navigated some counter spells, I think, pretty well there. Just gonna make sure I don't deck myself, which is actually hard to do. For time considerations, I'm just gonna attack with my mentors, but I could definitely defeat my opponent with double Bolus's Citadel activation. My opponents tonight so far have been gluttons for punishment. They just enjoy getting gone off on. It is your right to not concede the game. I'm not making fun of my opponents, either Black in last round or this one now. It's just, funny that you are deterministically dead and want to see me click it out. Alright, so I think I want to just summon Teferi from the graveyard. I'll plus right now, and I'm just going to go to cleanup because it doesn't matter. I could do more, but fuck it. Alright, so land, don't care, don't care, don't care. Don't care about any of this reactive stuff. Not going to need it, especially with Teferi. Alright, so we have that many monks. 10 monks plus mentor. One trigger does the trick. And that's the game. Oh, now we're waiting. I'll pause the video in case they're just being a scummer. Alright, they weren't being a scummer. It was just a second. And preordained for good luck. If they want to watch me click through it, I will oblige them by playing more spells than I need to. Alright, and you are deceased. Alright, 2-0. Just have to go 1-1 over the next 2 rounds to get qualified. Feeling pretty good. Those are some tight victories. GG's opponent. See you next round. Alright, team. We're back for round 3. We're on the play. And I have a turn 1 outcome with force backup. I can keep this. Can I go deeper? No, I could outcome for... No, I only have 1 blue source. Alright, never mind. They look like they're F6'd over there, which is a insane way to live your life. Alright, I don't want to lose to Wasteland. If they're F6, they're probably shops. So, just fetch this basic. So I could play and spin this top. Or I could leave my vault untapped. Yeah, I think spinning the top is probably good. I have Lotus. Yeah, let's do it. If I find PO, I can just cast it right now even. Oh my goodness. Alright, so Mentor, Academy. Yeah, this is pretty good. I actually think I want the Academy on top. No, maybe it doesn't matter. Alright. Let's see what they got. They're either on shops or... Okay. They're on a deck with no counterspells, or they were being very honest by F6ing last turn. So next turn, I draw Mentor. Okay, they're on the Justin Ganari Oval Chase PO deck. All right. We should be able to dumpster them pretty good. Oh, this Hercules Recall. It's kind of funny here. But the Mentor makes it all kind of irrelevant. Okay, so I'm going to draw Mentor. Yeah, we're talking in the chat about how sweet Justin's deck is. Alright, so I cast Mentor, and then I hurt myself. Then I get to replay all my stuff and draw a card. Wow, they're just still F6'd. Just remaining super honest here. So I get to draw the Academy, and then redeploy all my crap. Not that one, not that one. Shit. I just misclicked and cast the wrong spell. Maybe it matters a little bit. Like, I do wish that happened in the other order. Alright, so I can spin top with my blue. So I will. Ancestral Recall, Mox Opal, and Paradoxical Outcome. Okay. Now I wish I had spun with my colorless. So yeah, this is my plan. I'm just going to pass the turn with Force of Will up and hope I'm not dead. Yeah, if I had sequenced that with the Mana Vault first, I would have tapped Vault to cast top and had an extra blue floating. Yeah, I think we would have just won that turn if I didn't missequence my artifacts. Misclick, I should say. Oh, my opponent has drawn a lot of cards, and they didn't have a counterspell on my turn. So let's see if they have one on their turn. Let's see if they have anything on their turn. This deck that my opponent's playing is super cool. Like, this hollow one line is pretty sweet, but at the same time, it's just like, those cards are much worse than what I'm doing. I can afford to save some damage here. Like, the only way I'm going to lose this game is if I get, like, cheesed out by hollow ones. Like, this Mentor is just going to win the game pretty much immediately. Alright, so I left Outcome on top, which was actually a mistake. It should have been Ancestral, because we know that Mox Opal is under this. So I'm not going to pick up my Mentor, though that is pretty frequently a reasonable line. Like, I don't want to have to cast 20 spells this turn to win the game. I want to settle for 10. Alright, please don't have 2 counterspells. We know 2 of their 5 cards in hand are Oval Chase whatevers. Alright, yeah, looks like we just did it. Okay. Yeah, a number of a misclick and then a sequencing error, but I don't think it's going to matter now. We even have Force of Will backup for all the shit we're about to do. So I have 3 attackers. I just need to get 2 of them, or I just need to get them up to 10s, which is pretty reasonable to do. And my opponent is demonstrating right now my problem with the deck. Like, they had this really sweet, bizarre triple hollow one start, but like, you're also just a PO deck, and they're doing a pretty bad job of doing that. Wah, 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 wah. And that should get the scoop. Yeah, there it is. Alright. We defeated Oval Chase PO. Pod Race PO. Big fan of that deck, but we just saw its fail rate, which is drew the bizarre half, but didn't turn it into POs. Alright, so Hercule's Recall is kind of interesting in this matchup. Normally I don't like Hercs in PO mirrors. Like, some people use them to like counter POs, like Herc you in response to your PO, so you have nothing to pick up, and you just spent 4 mana on nothing. But having the hollow ones, it makes it extra interesting. Though, I think that I don't want more, but I might want to leave in the one that is in the main deck. I actually have this deck built. Let's look at that. See what they've got. So they're bringing in Mindbreak Traps, Flusterstorm. They don't have... Alright, the Red Blast hits Riddlesmith as well, so that's pretty good. Tinker, Riddlesmith. Yeah. Alright, so I do want Red Blast. Which, I mean, seems obvious when you're playing against Paradoxical Outcome, but I think in this case it is extra good because they have creatures you want to beat. I'm not sure about Teferi. It's kind of bad against Hollow One, but kind of good against the PO side, which I guess is like what their point is over there. So I could turn Herx into Wear Tear. Wear Tear also breaks up Vault Key, which is ultimately their win con. Right. I don't think we need all 3 opals. Maybe the Hercule's Recall is just bad. I've talked myself out of that. I could Wear Tear to break up Vault Key, or I could Flusterstorm to fight over the enablers. I guess Flusterstorm is also offensive. Like, it defends my POs, and I only have the combo to win with, and they have hollow ones to win with. So I like my offensive counterspells more than just a purely reactive card like Wear Tear. Okay. That's a deck I can submit. All dressed up with nowhere to go. That's a lot of mana, but no spells to cast. This one's a little sketchy, but I'm doing it. I'm going to bottom this. It's either Pyroblast or Flusterstorm. Probably Pyroblast, because that's going to be harder to cast. Like, any blue mana source gets this going. So, the reason I kept this kind of sketchy hand is that we're on the draw, we have turn 1 top plus activate, and Gitaxian Probe plus draw step to get things moving. Uh-oh, turn 1 Riddlesmith. Do you have Mox Oval Chase? Uh-oh. Oh no, they have the combo. Yeah, this is the good combo in the deck. Riddlesmith plus Oval Chase Daredevil is seriously powerful. Let's see. Did I get punished? Alright. Not yet. Alright, so Emerald, Soul Ring. I'm going to spin my top first because finding the land is going to be pretty important to me. Alright, we found some lands. Alright, Riddlesmith and another Daredevil is the hand. I don't need to leave up Flusterstorm against this. Ooh, Narset is very good against what they're doing here. Okay, so we just need them to not draw an artifact for just a turn or two, and we'll be okay. If they find another Mox, they could just shred through their whole deck this turn, though. I would fully support just attack and go. Sign me up for that. Yeah, playing the second Riddlesmith is kind of a dick move, because that means they can kill Narset. So what that means for me is I can play Narset and minus, just knowing that she's going to die. Or I could play Narset and leave her at 5. And what that would do is turn off the Riddlesmith out for a turn, but it would hurt me a lot. Alright, I'm going to top, see what we're working with here. Lavinia. Alright, I don't have white mana, so that doesn't matter. Next turn, I could Narset plus Time Walk. That would let me activate her and start to pull ahead. Okay. I'm just going to pass here with Flusterstorm and Misstep up and do my more defensive play next turn. So, like I said on turn 1, we saw the best thing their deck does, which is Riddlesmith plus Oval Chase Daredevil, and the worst thing their deck does, which is have Oval Chase Daredevil in its hand. Alright, it's just cycling Hollow One. Love to see it. Oh no, hate to see that. Alright, don't have 2 of them. Yeah, so Narset, no activation, just Narset on 5 pass would have shut down this turn, but I would have not really done anything with the turn anyway. So they are actually generating card advantage here. With any artifact they cast, they get to... Ooh. Yeah, that's not happening. Not on my watch. Alright. So any artifact they cast with 2 Riddlesmiths, they get to draw 1, discard Daredevil, draw 1, discard a card, and then get back Daredevil. So they're getting actual card advantage out of that. Alright, let's hope they didn't keep a counterspell. Alright, so I can get the Time Walk. Alright. Threaded that needle nicely. Bolas's Citadel. Not even close to casting that. I guess I'm actually like a little bit close to casting that, but I'm not actually casting it. So, don't want to draw that. I guess I do want to draw the Tundra. Like, I could have put Opal on top, and then Narset shuffles away Tundra. I don't know, maybe that was better. It's hard to be sure. Mentor. That's what I wanted. So, I think I just want the Opal for additional mana. Sensei's top. Show me your moves. Paradoxical Outcome, that's a good card. Alright. Top, top, top. So I can PO with Flusterstorm back up. And I get to reset Narset along the way. Yeah, so even though they had that one scary moment where they started doing stuff with their double Riddlesmith. I still think it was better to wait and thread it like this a little better. Alright, so does this Yogg-Will get me where I want to go? Or should I just play Narset and Teferi? So, blue, 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 white. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Narset and Teferi is pretty interesting. I think I'll just play Narset and then see where that goes. Not quite ready to just pop off on this Yogg-Will yet. Like, my opponent is clearly moving pretty slow over there. Alright, so line up this Tinker for next turn. I guess I could just Tinker right now, huh? So I could Tinker now, but I just had to use my land drop to do that. Alright, I'm going to keep being patient. So Teferi, bounce a Riddlesmith. So that means they can't kill Narset this turn. They can kill Teferi, but any artifacts they cast are just discard a card. They don't get to draw. That makes the Oval Chase Daredevil in their hand really bad. We're going to lose Teferi to combat, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to have this like hyper-protected Tinker next turn. Oh, they are attacking Narset. That's probably the smart play, because you can't beat Teferi anyway. Alright, we got the 4-mana 4/2 in play. The secret mode on that card. Okay, so I have Tinker plus Sensei's Top, which should end the game. Alright, Citadel. And off we go. Is it better to... No, I don't think so. I was wondering if it was better to draw the PO. But no, I think I like spending life on it here. Yeah, we just need to get this Mentor into play, and that's the match. Alright, so we are 3-0 with the Teferi outcome. That means we are queued for... If Magic Online would let me. Oh no, I just put my deck in my sideboard in my deck. There's a wear chair somewhere. There it is. Alright, yeah. So, 3-0. We're queued for the Vintage Championship. Easy game. Now we get to goof around a little bit the rest of the week. I guess I'll decide tomorrow if I want to be a tryhard and just farm prize wall tickets, or if I want to make more exciting content. Stick around to find out. Thanks for watching so far. We have one more round. Magic Online doesn't support intentional draws, so just going to have to play it out. Alright, we're here for the final round on the play, and this hand is pretty good. No idea what our opponent's up to. We're going to find out quick. Drawing a blue or white Mox off this probe would be insane. So we can get this Lavinia down. Alright, we're playing against Doomsday. So they have Misstep. That kind of sucks. They're going to get our Soul Ring, which turns off Academy. So I think... And I guess I just jam. Hopefully they think this is bait, but they could totally just slam off on it, which would hurt me a lot. It helps that I've seen the misstep, because now we're in like a level system where it's like, is this a forced play? Like, does his hand just do nothing else, or is it bait to get through them? And there's just an ancestral waiting in the wings. All right, so but they were on level 0. All right, they passed through their first main phase. Good thing they get a second one. I wonder how many people in this event are playing Magic Online for the first time. All right, there's the second main action. This street is Necro usually in Doomsday? I guess it's another payoff for a turn 1 Dark Ritual. I don't know if I've seen that before, but there it is. Alright, so basically just like any land to jam this, Lavinia would be a huge deal. They have the Force of Will, but making them use it and get another card out of their hand over there. Using Lavinia as Simba Tarak is also fine. Though this spot we're in is a little bit tenuous. They kept 1 on top with Preordain. Yuck. All right, we still have this to do. Let's hope they don't aggro force this. Oh no. This is a nightmare. So I'll put back these two. At least we drew Preordain. We can get through that Teferi next turn, but this is ugly. Yeah, the misstep on Soul Ring has denied us a lot of mana already. So like 2 last turn, 2 this turn, plus the Academy, so like 3, 5. Would have been able to cast Lavinia turn 2. Like there's a lot of problems. So they can just like Lotus Necro here if they want. Alright, they didn't want. Alright, Preordain, find me something good. Alright, so I know they have Force of Will. Is Mana Crypt actually something I'm interested in? It will make them force. We're gonna have to get through that thing eventually, right? Ugh, this is kind of ugly. So, yeah, and then it just sets us back so far. Like it's basically make them force. Alright. I think I'm gonna play the Mana Crypt and not anything else. I'm not gonna tinker here. That's just too juicy. I'll represent some interaction. Thassa's Oracle, just honest to goodness. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's how this works. So I get to see their whole deck, at least. Okay, so... yeah, Doomsdays, Consultation. It's like 1 Oracle, and then the things you'd expect. Force of Negation is pretty interesting. Okay. We are defeated there. Yeah, they just, that lined up pretty poorly, and they got us. So her Fluster, Pyroblast. I don't think I want any of this other stuff. Maybe Colossus? So I don't think I want Teferi. That's just kind of slow for what we're dealing with here. Flusterstorm and Pyroblast in. Gotta cut some more stuff here. Mistup's real good. All these cards are really good. Top might be a little slow for the combo matchup. And I do tend to shave an Opal a lot when I'm not sure what else to do. I guess, no, Hercules Recall. I don't need that in this matchup. Alright, Opal, you get to stay in the deck. I wonder if the Opal is better than, third Opal is better than second top, though. That might be something I'm interested in. Alright, I'm doing this. It's a turn 2 PO. I think this is fine. I think we could just lose on turn 1, but we could also just win on turn 2. And I think I want to PO on their upkeep. Like next turn, I mean. Because they showed me Force of Negation. Ooh, top. That makes me want to slow my roll a little bit here. Finding a Pyroblast or a Flusterstorm on the top here would be pretty great. Alright, we found the Fluster. So next turn I can PO for 4 cards with Flusterstorm backup. And if I need to Fluster on their turn, I can just pop my top. Alright, they're making a move on something here. Or just preordaining. One top, one bottom. Ancestral Recall. I'm going to let them have that because I think sticking my PO next turn is going to be more important. And if Flusterstorm was just in my hand, I would probably do it there, but being on top of the deck with top makes it a lot worse. And then my next card down is Force of Will, so I actually have 2 pieces of protection here. I guess I don't if I tap the top, so... Okay, now one of the greatest skill testers in Magic the Gathering, resolving Flusterstorm. Targeting Flusterstorm on Magic Online. Alright, so I've targeted the first copy. This is your copy. And then same targets for the first one. I think I did it. Storm was only 3, so that wasn't too bad. The number of times people flusterstorm their own spells on Magic Online is just horrifying. So they have the Force, which is mostly fine, because I still have another PO. I can just do that again next turn if I get a next turn. They had to pitch Time Walk to do that. Yeah, that Ancestral was a nice one they found. Top bottom again. So I can just go for it now. I just gave a lot of Storm to a Flusterstorm, though. I can spin top also and see if I'm able to protect it, like Flusterstorm or Pyroblast off the top, or another PO. Alright, so I'm not going to tap top here, because I can't tap it in response if I do that. Mystical Dispute, huh? Alright, so I have to draw a card. Oh, I only draw 3 cards. Oh, nope, they had a Flusterstorm too. Okay. So the third PO is on top of my... well, I have top on top and then PO under it. So, just gotta hope that they're out of juice over there. If they just like go for the Doomsday here, I'd probably lose. Right, I guess we'll see what their hand is. Like they had to pitch their Time Walk, so we'll see if their hand can get through the pile this turn. We've been pretty well handled though, this whole game now. This whole match. It's possible. No, I was going to say I need to be more patient with what I was doing, but my hand didn't really let that happen. Okay, they had the Street Wraith. That probably means we lose, so they can just like Ancestral into Lotus or whatever. Yeah, Lotus and then Oracle. Alright, we were defeated in the final round. That's alright. We got qualified for Sunday. Good start to the weekend.